You're listening to Pombo and Peter's Picks, the home of your favorite sports betting podcast. Presented by The Daily Goat.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Pombo and Peter's Picks. I'm Jason Pombo, joined as always by Peter Alves. Peter, how are we doing today?
Good. Week 6, NFL, MLB playoffs, part 1 episode. Insider secret, we're recording 2 episodes.
Yes.
Shout out to Rough in the Basket.
Yes, the episode you are listening to now was released on Thursday, which is today, or whenever you listen to it. And then we're releasing an NBA preview with Brandon Carr and Noah Byrne of Rough in the Basket on Monday. So yeah, be sure to check that out on Monday, the next week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Episode 101 and 102.
Yes, absolutely. Killing it, Peter. Last week we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with Matt Cunha. Shout out, Matt. I know you had some harsh words for Matt. I saw some exchanges going in our group chat.
All right, so we'll go into that.
Get that out of the way.
Week 5, pick recap. All right, let's get the bad out of the way. I lost 2 and 3. Finally won my premium pick of the week, though. 1 and 4. So, backstory, Matt sent a graphic. Boo-hoo. Had a clown over my face. I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But I was like, Matt, what is this? And he's like, oh, I didn't think you would see it until the next day when I actually post it. And I was like, no, I'll leave it. I'll come to you. And then there was a clown face next to my premium pick of the week, Jets +3. But, you know. All right, we lost. -7 on the Chiefs. They didn't look good until the second half, obviously. We also lost Vikings -7. Scary. And then Seahawks +5.5. But we won. Falcons still undefeated against the spread, +8.5. And we won premium pick of the week, +3 Jets. Listen, Matt said that Skylar Thompson or whoever the third string quarterback is for the Miami Dolphins was gonna just wreak havoc against my pick. Did not happen. The Dolphins lost 40-17. Yikes, Matt. I think that's karma for him putting a clown over my face. I literally bet that in real life. That's the only thing. Listen, that's the one bet I've done all year. Jets money line and Jets +3.5 or +3. I got it at 3.5. But Matt, that sucks. Listen, you should have put the clown over my face. You made me win my premium pick, and yeah.
I think Matt absolutely cursed the Dolphins, and which in result gave you the W. Also, Peter, you said the Vikings -7. You pushed on that because they won by 7. Yeah, so
I count that as listen. If you can't beat the Bears by 1 million, Justin Fields doesn't even throw the ball.
Peter, you need all the W's you can get. You take your push. You're 2-2-1. That isn't bad. For me, I went 3-2, which is solid. I took my first L for my premium pick. I got that wrong, so we'll start with that. I had the Bucks -8.5. The Bucks unfortunately did not cover. They only won by 6. That was a game that was very frustrating. It felt like the Bucks on paper should have absolutely won that game by 3 touchdowns. The Falcons were undermanned, and I think there's some real concerns about the Bucks that they did not beat this Falcons team by 3 scores. But the Falcons are now 5-0 against the spread?
5-0 on the undefeated team last week and still rolling on.
Yeah, despite the fact they're 2-3 and in wins and losses, they're 5-0 against the spread, which is pretty crazy. My other loss was, of course, a Thursday night game. I'm going to continue to pick those until I get that one right. I had the Broncos -3. That Broncos-Colts game, which we'll talk about in a little bit, was probably the worst game I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, for sure. I watched the whole game because I had rooting interest on both sides. I have Russell Wilson fantasy. Dropped him. He's dead to me. And then I had Naeem Hines, and then he got hurt first play.
He did. Yeah, so I got those 2 wrong. My one's right. I had the Patriots -3. Got that one right. Over the Lions, 29-0. I had the Cardinals +5 against the Eagles. You know, the Eagles started off hot, but the Cardinals kind of closed, made it a game in the second half, and they did indeed cover. Eagles ended up winning by a field goal, but Cardinals covered. And then I also won with the Titans -2.5. Carson Wentz thankfully threw an interception on the last play of the game. Big W there. For Survivor, Peter, I had the Bucks, so they did not cover, but they did win. So I stay alive for the Survivor pool, so I'm on to week 6. I think we said from the beginning that if I got to week 6, that was a W.
No, I said week, how many weeks are there? 18 now? 9.
Nah, I'm not getting. I mean, I'm running out of teams. This week is really difficult for me anyway.
Oh, yeah, because you picked the Rams and the Packers, yeah?
Yeah, I've already used those 2 teams and of the Bucks. So yeah, it's difficult. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show about who I'm going to select for my survivor pick. So yeah, that's a little bit of recap. I go 3-2. Peter goes 2-2-1. So not bad, Peter.
And
Unfortunately,
boohoo, Matt. Listen, never do that ever again. I'm not picking the Dolphins or the Jets. Spoiler alert. But never do that. Never do that again.
what if all right, after Matt said he was like, oh, I hope you were going to see it. So what if so usually what happens is he emails it and then I usually put it on the site, right? Like that night or the morning of. Like, what if I just didn't or I didn't check? You were the first one that saw it, right? So what if you just didn't look? And then,
because
we
you
said
said it
the
was all
next
set,
morning.
and then I wanted to double check, and then I was like, haha, Matt, you put a clown over my face. What's up with that? And he's
That would have been it was funny that you saw it first, but if I saw it first, I probably would have texted him, be like, did you mean to do this? And then he probably wouldn't have responded to us for 6 hours.
No, he probably just would have waited for us to post it.
Yeah,
yeah. Like, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, that's what you are coming. Listen, maybe you're fired, maybe you're not. Where are you? Actually, no, because we gotta rip to Matt.
Rip to Matt next week.
Rip to the next graphic, yeah. If you didn't listen to the last episode, he doesn't like those graphics.
Yeah, we did not tell him that the NBA preview was next week, did we?
No, we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. Actually, let's just wait to see it. Hopefully he listens. That'll be his we'll know if he listened to the podcast or not, because we should know. All right, Peter. So there's a couple NFL topics I want to actually. Do you want to hit on a couple NFL topics, or do you want to get into recapping Week 5 first? What would you
do the topics first?
All right. So Matt Rhule was fired, head coach of the Carolina Panthers after 2+ seasons. He had 11-29 record. And after the Panthers started off 3-0 last year, Peter, they looked like they were in the right direction. Sam Darnold looked to be resurrecting his career. I was all in on the Panthers bandwagon. McCaffrey looked healthy. I was all in. After they started 3-0 last year, Peter, they went 3-16 in Matt Rhule's last 19 games.
Yeah,
so a real L.
I mean, Matt Rhule deserves to be fired, but hats off to him. He's getting $40 million. I mean, that's a great payday. But he destroyed Baker. Maybe he destroyed Baker Mayfield. Maybe he didn't. He destroyed DJ Moore for sure. Destroyed that whole defense. That team wasn't going to go anywhere with Matt Rhule. You're a big Matt Rhule guy too.
I was, and it just did not translate. I think he underrated the quarterback position at his time with the Carolina Panthers. So no, he technically was not the general manager, but from everything I've read, he had final say on personnel. He had a lot of say when it came to draft picks and that sort of thing. So I think he was very cavalier about the quarterback position. You look at what he decided to go with: Teddy Bridgewater, Cam Newton, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. I understand that he struck out on Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, but they really did not have a clear backup plan after those two guys did not come to fruition. They also passed on Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Kenny Pickett in the first round. They could have had any of them, and they elected to pass. Last year in the draft, they went offensive line. The year before, they went defensive tackle. So it felt like they were just too cavalier about the quarterback position and ended up coming back to bite them. I understand they could have and probably should have taken a younger guy in the draft, especially after striking out on a guy like Wilson and Watson, but they just didn't want to do so. Kenny Pickett made way too much sense. Matt Rhule was a coach at the Senior Bowl. He had Kenny Pickett, and he apparently scouted him before Pickett picked Pittsburgh a while back, and I don't know, it just did not end up working for Matt Rhule. He's going to be a college football coach next year. I'm convinced of that. And I think he'll be back to being a successful college coach, and that's ultimately probably where he's going to spend the large part of his career.
For sure. I mean, Panthers on offense, on paper, really good. He couldn't get that going. And then on defense, they have good people too. They have that cornerback they drafted 2 years ago, J.C. Horn. They have Brian Burns, top 5 safety in the league. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, on paper, that team is not the worst.
No, you would think, especially not even talking about McCaffrey. I understand he's injury ridden, but when he's healthy, he's arguably the best running back in the NFL. And you look at the Panthers going forward now, Peter. I was actually talking to Noah about this. Shout out Rough in the Basket again. That the Panthers probably did Matt Rhule a good service, because now Rhule is going to have plenty of time to pick his next college football destination. And the Panthers are the first team to really look at 2023 head coaches, and they can spend as much time as they want. They're going to have a great draft pick. like you said, they have a good roster overall. Well, I mean, it's not a great roster, but they have some
Well,
playmakers
they
on
have a
both sides
hole
of the
in the
ball.
most important position, but
Yeah.
everywhere else it's serviceable. Or
And Peter,
better.
I don't want to really like go too far into this, but if you really look at that division next year, Brady is in all likelihood gone. You're looking at the quarterbacks in that division potentially being Kyle Trask, Jameis Winston, and Desmond Riddler. You know, the Panthers, if they get the coach right and the quarterback right, they'll be right contending sooner than people think. Obviously, that's not an easy thing to do, but I just don't think this team is as far away as it could be. And I think David Tepper, the owner, knows that. And that's why I think they're going to go big hunting for a big name head coach, whether it's a guy like Sean Payton, he comes to mind, or I don't know. I don't think they'll go back to the college ranks. So I probably going to be a guy in the NFL ranks. So we'll have to see on that. But the Panthers are going to have about a 2 or 3 month advantage over other teams.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point.
Yeah, so that's what I think anyway about Matt Rhule and the Panthers. Other NFL topic, Peter. We'll talk about it when we get into the games, but the roughing the passer penalties have been the main storyline this NFL week. There was 2 ones that were pretty egregious. One being on Grady Jarrett to Tom Brady, and that Bucks Falcons game, and the other, in my opinion, which was the worst one, was Chris Jones sacking and taking the ball away from Raiders quarterback Derek Carr. Both were called for roughing the passer penalties, and both seemingly looked clean to me. So what were your take on those?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to be fair, this is the new NFL, and quarterbacks are protected like no other position. But the NFL needs to step in and being a not too soft. I mean, like, you can't put your full weight on the quarterback, which is a complete joke in the NFL. But on Chris Jones especially Chris Jones, and then Grady Jarrett a little bit. But like, what can you do? Like, you're already falling. You try to stop himself. Still a 15-yard penalty. And that one on Monday versus the Chiefs Raiders, that was an ultimate joke. And the Twitter obviously was exploding. And that rule needs to be fixed. I don't know how you can fix that because you want to protect your star quarterback and the ones that actually make the league money and stuff. But
yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, I understand what the NFL thinks, but I also understand from a defensive player perspective how it's pretty impossible in order to bring down a quarterback without getting that roughing the passer penalty called. But I hear a lot of people saying this, and the more I think about it, the more I agree with it. It could be the referees kind of seeing that Tua incident a couple weeks ago, and now they're being overly cautious, and maybe that's why it's being called like that. I think that could be a potential reason why, because there was 2 egregious ones this week, and the timeline fits. The NFL and I guess the rules committee are trying to work to a solution in order to fix that. So hopefully they can get that under control. I'm sure they will. Every time things kind of explode, remember the pass interference stuff, they ended up making that challengeable, and then they ended up making it unchallengeable. Like, I'm sure the roughing the passer stuff will be altered, whether it's altering the rule or altering whether or not you can challenge it, or if maybe the booth can review it. I don't know. I know maybe not. Fans probably don't necessarily want more replay, but in this particular instance, it might work.
Well, I don't want a replay because they'll probably just extend the game, obviously,
yeah.
and then it'll probably get ruled next year, as you said. But they need to fix the wording in that rule at least.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think they will. It feels like the NFL they usually respond to this sort of criticism, and they want to keep the integrity of the game, and I'm sure they'll do something. But next couple weeks, I could see a couple other plays being called like that. All right, Peter. So let's talk about Week 5's NFL slate. Colts Broncos was the Thursday night game last week. I kind of talked about how that was the worst game I've ever seen in my life from an NFL standpoint, and I'm going to stand by it. It was an offensive nightmare on both sides. The Colts ended up defeating the Broncos 12-9. Yep, you heard that right, 12-9. Matt Ryan, the winning quarterback, 26 of 41, 251 yards. He was intercepted twice and sacked 6 times. The Colts, of course, played this game without Jonathan Taylor, who was out with an injury. Other side of things, Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Wilson was 21 of 39 for 274 yards, intercepted twice, sacked 4 times. So I think it was a poor quarterback display on both sides. Russell Wilson looks as bad as he ever has in his NFL career, and Matt Ryan, to me, just looks old. And the Colts end up going into Mile High and getting that win, 12-9. Colts improved to 2-2-1, and the Broncos fall to 2-3.
Yeah. First off, I want to prayers up Chris Barassa. He could have won $300 if Michael Pittman got one more reception. He had over 5.5 receptions. Rest in peace. Sorry, Chris. But yeah, that's the worst game that I've ever seen in my whole life. You need 5 quarters and you still didn't even score any touchdowns. I think Russell Wilson had 2 picks in the end zone. At least
Yeah,
one at
at
the end
least
of the
one.
game.
At least one.
But I mean, they can't score in the red zone to save them life. I don't get it. I mean, Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and don't give me that excuse that Russell Wilson's hurt. Maybe he is hurt. Maybe he isn't. Maybe that's just excuse for him to play bad. And he still said, "Let's ride" at the end of his stupid press conference. That's probably baked into his stupid contract. Then on the other side, Colts obviously you didn't have Jonathan Taylor, that hurt you, and then Naeem Hines got out with a concussion in the first play of the game. And yeah, I mean, listen, that's a revolving door on the quarterback position. They can't get it right. They probably won't ever get it right unless they draft a quarterback, which I don't envision them doing. But they're 2-2-1, and they have a real shot at that stupid division because the Titans are just 3-2.
Yeah, I feel like the AFC South is wide open. The AFC West, while we haven't necessarily seen the dominance in which we expected, it still to me feels like the Broncos are nowhere near to be a playoff team. I still think Nathaniel Hackett is in way over his head. Russell Wilson is not the same guy he was in Seattle. Is that age? Is that lingering stuff from the thumb? I was hearing that he was getting his shoulder, I guess, looked at. He's going to play this Monday, but his shoulder was apparently banged up. Again, those are just excuses. He's missing reads. He's missing open receivers. And I don't know. I just personally did not see this coming with him. And it's disappointing because he was such a winner in Seattle, getting to 2 Super Bowls, keeping the Seahawks in games, just dealing with adversity on every turn. And he would always rally the Seahawks with an undermanned Seahawks team to come back. And it's just not the same in Denver. And I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to get any better. The Broncos are a team that just I know we talked about it when we previewed the AFC West. They might just be a year away, and tell you what, they better hope so. They better hope this is just a year in which things just didn't necessarily come together, because they just gave Russell Wilson $250 million. That's the kind of stuff you can't take back. And if Russell Wilson isn't the same guy, they're in for a long next couple of seasons. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm not going to put on all Russell Wilson. Obviously, he looks putrid. I'm going to put it all on Nathaniel Hackett. Well, 75% Nathaniel Hackett, 25% Russell Wilson. You need to get Nathaniel Hackett out of there, and then I'll assess.
Yeah.
There's no way he survives the year.
No shot. And especially because the new ownership down in Denver, they didn't hire Nathaniel Hackett. The Walton family got the team after Nathaniel Hackett was hired. So I don't necessarily believe that he's safe. Like, it's not a situation which the owner liked the coach and they're going to ride with him. They're going to give him a couple years. That wasn't the case, especially with a roster in which everybody anticipated the Broncos be a playoff roster, and that just hasn't been the case. All right, Peter, let's talk about the game on Monday night. So let's jump on to Monday Night Football. This was a game that was wild. The Chiefs ended up edging out the Raiders 30-29. The Raiders, they were up 17-0 in the game. And they ended up falling apart and losing 30-29. Pat Mahomes, 29-43, 292 yards and 4 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 25 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was absurd in the red zone. The Raiders really had no answer for him. Other side of things, Derek Carr, 19-30, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had 3 catches, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs was really effective for the Raiders in the ground game. 21 carries, 154 yards, and a touchdown. He also contributed 5 catches for 39 yards. And the Raiders, look, they fall to 1-4, and the Chiefs, they moved to 4-1. I think a lot of this game is being talked about the roughing the passer call, along with the Chiefs and Raiders going for those 2-point conversions. The Raiders, of course, had an opportunity to go up 1, and they went for 2 points, and they came up short on a Josh Jacobs run. And they had the opportunity because they got the ball back. They stopped Pat Mahomes around midfield, and the Raiders were just never able to get over the hump. They just couldn't get over the hump, and that was a huge loss for them. They had every reason to win this game. I was disappointed because, I'm a Raiders stan right now. And, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs, obviously, Travis Kelce balled out 4 touchdowns. He can do it himself. We'd like to see everybody involved. MVS, 90 yards. Nicole Harmon, 90 yards. Still can't run the ball. It's concerning down the line, but it's fine right now, obviously. Then on the other side, the Raiders, think Devontae Adams might get He's definitely getting fined. He might get suspended. He's a little.
He's getting fined for sure.
He's a little jerk. I don't.
A little jerk.
Well, I want to say something else, but can't say that.
So
But
for those of you who don't know, he pushed a sound guy or a camera guy. He walking in the tunnel.
yeah, we're after the game. I know emotions are high, but don't be a little P word. Josh Jacobs is amazing, but maybe Josh McDaniels is already on the hot seat. Maybe this is what Bill Belichick wanted, and then he just
all part of the master plan. And you know what? The Raiders have now blown 2 double-digit leads. I think it was 2 17-point leads, which is kind of crazy to me because I think the Raiders have a good roster. I really do. I understand they're 1-4. I understand they're at the bottom of the AFC West. I don't think Josh McDaniels has coached his best. I still feel like it's early, and I wouldn't put him on the hot seat after 1 year. You got to give him a little bit of a leash. I understand it's his second go around being an NFL coach, but you got to give him a little bit more time, and they should have won the game. Do you agree with the decision for going for 2?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, all
one?
the analytics say go for it. I mean, if you're versing the Chiefs, you need all the help you can get, especially on the second half where your defense can stop a nosebleed. So I like that call, even if the analytics say no. I don't know if they said no or not, but
the
I like
analytics
that.
said yes. Yeah, but McDaniels, he talked about a post game. It was more the feel of the game that did it for him. McDaniels isn't this like super analytic driven guy, but I think it was more the feel of the game. And I think maybe the Raiders had concerns about that Chiefs kicker. Now he seemed inconsistent. I know he made what, a 54-yard kick or whatever, but didn't he missed another 37?
I think it was 59.
59, whatever it was. But he also missed another one, so I think he was 1 of 2 or 1 of 3, something like that. And the Chiefs elected to go for 2 as opposed to letting their kicker kick the extra point. So I didn't mind that decision for McDaniels. It blew up in his face. And the Raiders sit in a situation where, luckily for them, they have an opportunity to kind of get right in the middle of the season. Are they going to contend for a playoff spot? I don't know about that at this stage, but I'll
maybe
the
AFC isn't as hard that I thought it was going to be.
No, so they have a bye week, but after their bye, they're home against the Texans.
Well, I wonder if they'll win the bye week.
At the Saints, at the Jaguars, home versus the Colts, at the Broncos, at the Seahawks.
Yeah,
it's doable. You know, they can get hot, and if they do so, like you said, the AFC is not as a gauntlet as many people projected, and I think they'll have an opportunity to get right at the end of the season. I think they will, and I'm not giving up on this Raiders roster yet. They're too good. And they're all in a new offense, and I think it takes time. And they need Darren Waller healthy. I feel like he hasn't been healthy all year.
Yeah, he was out with an injury, right?
Yeah, he played and he got hurt in the first quarter with a hamstring injury. And to me, I thought he'd be a big part of the offense, and he just hasn't yet.
Yeah, he's been in net for 5 weeks.
Yep, pretty much. I think he only has like 17 catches in 6 games, or in 5 games, which is awful. All right, Peter, let's move on here from that Raiders-Chiefs game. Let's talk a little bit Bengals and Ravens, which was the Sunday night game. This game, a lot of people were picking the over. They thought it was going to be a high-scoring shootout. It didn't end up being the case here. Lamar Jackson was 19 of 32, 174 yards, a touchdown and a pick. And the Ravens edged out the Bengals 19-17. Justin Tucker hit a game-winning field goal as time expired. Other side of things, Joe Burrow, 24 of 35, 217 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Jamar Chase continues to be under wrap. He was held for only 50 receiving yards and 7 catches. So Ravens moved to 3-2, and the Bengals fall to 2-3. To me, these teams, they seem pretty close. And I just think they're in a similar stage. And it was a big win for the Ravens because they can't afford to keep losing these close games.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be fighting all year. The AFC North, obviously, just Bengals, Ravens. I'll see the Steelers going anywhere 1-4, and then the Browns are the Browns. But the Ravens have a cheat code at the kicker. Listen, if you're starting to draft after all the quarterbacks, I think Tucker would be picked right after that. He literally go to midfield and all you need. That's literally all you need. But I mean, the Bengals, Jamar Chase needs to get right. Jamar Chase is getting shadowed by the second cornerback and then having safety up top. What the Patriots usually do, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he needs to figure it out. He hasn't looked in 6 weeks. I'm sure he'll figure it out, but maybe that's the target of just figuring them out. You know?
Yeah, maybe that. I'm not saying he's overrated. Like, I'm not saying Jamar Chase is overrated, but he needs to be better. If the Bengals want to take their team to a new limit, which I think they can. I know they're only 2-3, but they have an opportunity to get right. I could see them getting right, especially in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be fine. They'll be contending for a wild card spot.
Yeah, and I ultimately do think the Ravens are a better team. But I could see the Bengals kind of figuring things out as the season goes. But they're not as good as I think we all. Well, I didn't think. I thought they would kind of regress a little bit. I thought they'd be a 9-10 win team, and I think that's where they're at right now.
Yeah, I thought that would regress too. Be a wild card team.
Yep. All right, Peter, let's talk about the game that I was at this past Sunday. Patriots-Lions. So, of course, I'll tell the story. This was a game that was circled on many people's schedule, of course, being Noah. Noah, who's a big
more than
Lions
that, really?
fan. Oh, yeah. Huge Lions fan, which
No,
everybody does.
no. Other people circled it, really?
Okay, I should
You
say
think you wait? So like, if TJ was like, "Hey, I'm going to the game," you'd be like, "Eat crap, bro. What are you doing?"
Look, this was a game. No, I should say Noah has had circled in his calendar
Yeah.
since last year. That's how I'll put it. His first regular season game, he was hyped. We got there early. The
Yeah,
stadium
obviously,
was.
you gotta bring Noah.
Oh yeah, we were there early. The stadium was great because the Patriots were wearing their throwback reds, which were awesome. So the stadium was all red. It was really good weather. It was awesome. And man, it was so bad for Noah's Lions. And the Lions came in with the best statistic offense and the worst statistic defense. And wow, was that in display? The Patriots blanked the Lions 29-0. Bailey Zappi, 17 of 21, 188 yards, a touchdown, his pick in his first career start. Ramondre Stevenson was awesome, 25 carries, 161 yards. Jacoby Myers, he came back. He got a touchdown on 7 catches and 111 yards. Other side of things with the Lions, Jared Goff, of course, had the worst game of his season. 19 of 35, 239 yards and a pick. The Lions were 0 of 6 on fourth down in this game, Peter. 0 of 6. They did not score. Wow. So what is your takeaway if you want to apologize to Noah or whatever?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Noah. Listen, maybe I cursed Jared Goff saying it was MVP. That was a little facetious a week ago. I didn't think it was actually going to be MVP, but there's no way he's winning it now. Patriots defense, I mean, it is the Lions at the end of the day. I like their defense. Jack Jones is a real player.
Yeah, yep.
He's a real cornerback.
Did we talk about him in training camp? Oh, I don't remember if we did.
I don't think so.
I mean, I liked him in college. I liked the draft pick, but I feel like we didn't hype him up enough, which I'm unfortunate because I really like the guy. I've liked him in college.
Yeah, and then the other side, Damian Harris, get on my face. It's officially from Andre Stevenson's side. I swear to God, if Damian Harris comes healthy and becomes a lead back, I will do something with Bill Belichick, and he'll probably do that because I own him everywhere in fantasy.
Stevenson, I assume you're saying?
Yeah. I hate Damian Harris, but it's good that Jacoby Myers can catch touchdowns from people that are not named Mac Jones, Brian Hoyer, and Zappy again. And Mac Jones, you're officially put on notice. I don't have Zappy fever yet.
I was just gonna ask you. Are you tell you what, Peter?
I'm not feeling it, but like he looks fine. He
looks fine. I don't have Zappy. I don't have Zappy fever.
Well, you're the biggest Mac Jones fan ever. But like he's officially not put on notice, but like watch out.
Tell you what, I think to me it's wild that this many people have turned in 2 games. Like it doesn't. I shouldn't say it doesn't make sense because if you look at, I don't know, you take a step back from 10,000 feet and you're like, okay, Mac Jones had a rough 3 games. He turned the ball over. So this 4th round pick comes in who's 5'11", 6'0". He's not turning the ball over. They gave the Packers a game, and then they just beat the Lions. I understand in a vacuum success for the Patriots, but some people are comparing this thing to Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady, Grogan to Easton. Like it's makes no sense to me in a number of different things. What Bailey Zappi has done has been fine. He has done exactly what the coaches have wanted him to do. He's taking care of the ball. He's not turning the ball over. He's making all the checkdowns. He's doing all that they're asking him to. But by no way, in no shape, am I going to give Bailey Zappi the starting quarterback role after he scored 1 touchdown against the NFL's worst defense. The Patriots scored 1 touchdown. They had 1 defensive touchdown and the rest were field goals. And everyone wants to throw Bailey Zappi a parade and buy his jersey and everything like that. And to me, it's just, we're way too soon. Now, I mean, if Zappi does this for 5 consecutive weeks, 4 or 5 consecutive weeks, maybe we have a discussion. But right now, after a game in 3 quarters, I'm nowhere near that. I mean, it's to me anyway, it's just a lot of people with short-term memories. And tell you what, Peter, I'm disappointed. I am very disappointed in a lot of people.
I mean, last year, Mac Jones looked fine. Obviously, he made the playoffs. And he was the best rookie in that class. Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence. But
he put together like the 2nd best rookie season in NFL history behind Dak Prescott. I know the Pro Bowl is meaningless, but he got the Pro Bowl nod, whatever. That's meaningless. Made the playoffs, like you said. Patriots were 9-4 entering Week 15 last year. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC. That wasn't that long ago. Obviously, they kind of blew that, of course, down the stretch. They lost in Buffalo, which I mind you was not a Mac Jones fault. Wasn't his fault. The defense couldn't get it off the field, and they didn't even allow the Bills to punt. So that's not on Mac Jones. And then early part of the season here, we're going to pretend the Patriots, out of the last 20 years, we'll call it even Tom Brady included, the first 4 games go well. How often are they 2-2? Seriously, how often?
Or
does that
even
occur?
if you look at the schedule, just take a step back. Dolphins, that could be a loss anytime they lost.
Yeah.
Steelers, I mean, that could be a loss. Ravens could be a loss, obviously was, and then Packers could be a loss. They could be 0-4, and then nobody would even say anything, even with Tom Brady. It doesn't really matter.
It's to me, it's just the Zappy fever is going way too. It's going way too extreme, way too fast. It makes people think that Zappy threw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and that just wasn't the case. Again, I think he threw. I know the game against Green Bay, he had 5 passes that actually were past the line of scrimmage. This game, I'm not 100% sure how many. I haven't gone back to look yet, but look, there was a lot of wide open, easy throws. I mean, he had the touchdown pass to Myers was a good throw. I'll give him that, but we're nowhere near, in my opinion, of giving Mac Jones a clipboard and say, sorry, kid. That to me is just.
But I mean, don't rush Mac Jones back. And
well,
when
you know
Mac
what?
Jones...
Now you're forcing him to come back because now that you have this pressure on him,
No,
he's
but
going to lose his job.
I
and
guess
now he's going to
but,
come back early. He's going to come back
Zappy's
this
in
week.
a good place. I mean, he's facing the Browns. That's a win. Bears, Jets, Colts, Jets, Vikings. I mean, he could go 3-2, 5 and.
Yeah, no, you're right. In a perfect world,
and then it'll be a real talk.
in a perfect world, Peter. Yeah, if Mac Jones should take his time, but he's not. He's going to play this week or next week. I guarantee it. From the public perception, because he's getting pressured everywhere. How do you think Mac Jones feels sitting there like, oh, wow, the offensive line's deciding to block now? Oh, wow, I wish that happened with me. You know how many times?
And it's sad
Bailey
because
Zappi was pressured?
if it was Paul, Brian Hoyer.
It'd be the same thing. It'd be the same thing.
No, it wouldn't even be a discussion because Brian Hoyer.
No, I mean, the results would be the same.
Right. Brian Hoyer could win versus the Lions, and then he could rattle off 3-4 wins versus all I said. Then it wouldn't even be a discussion.
The one thing I'll say is Hoyer. I'll grant the people a case in which Zappy should be quarterback 2 over Hoyer. I'll grant you that.
Oh, sure. For sure, because he can actually move in the pocket.
Sure, I'll give you that. Sure, but I'm not anywhere near making him quarterback 1 here. That is, I mean, I'm seriously surprised about how this is going. Like shocked, and of course, I'm a big Mac Jones guy as it is, but to me, you don't have to be a big Mac Jones guy to really see that Mac Jones has a better arm. The playbook is a lot more wide open with him, and Bailey Zappi was pressured 0 times against the Lions. He wasn't pressured once. Go play a real freaking team. Let me see how it goes, Zippy.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, that's Zappi. Come on, let's put respect on his name. But no, we'll have that conversation after Thanksgiving versus the Vikings.
Oh, he's playing. No, Mac. Tell you what, Mac's playing this week against the Browns, or he's playing next week against the Bears.
Then you better hope that he rattles off wins versus the Jets.
Mark it down. Mark it down. And you know what's going to be even annoying? He's going to throw a pick.
Well, listen, he has to hold on. He has to.
Yeah, no, you're right. He can't turn the ball.
He can't throw it out 3-4 coverage and then just throws the open cornerbacks.
We're already talking about where people are standing outside Mac Jones's house with pitchforks and stuff, and you look at the other side of things. Justin Fields has completed 49 balls this year through 5 games. That's not
his fault.
I'm not saying it is, but you don't see the Bears fans like, oh, I don't know.
No, fair. But if Justin Fields is on the Patriots or anywhere else, he would be actually good.
Maybe you would think so, but yeah, I think we're not. We don't have the Zappy fever yet. Myself and Peter, if people were wondering. All right, Peter. Another game that was a long Zappy talk, but I had to get it all out. Next game I want to talk about, Peter. Upset. Packers Giants in London. Tell you what, I'm friends with a Giants fan, and we were talking before the game last Saturday, and I said, you know what, I think the Giants going to give him a game, and they did. Giants ended up winning the game 27-22. I wish I picked the Giants, but I didn't have the balls. Daniel Jones on one ankle, 21 of 27, 217 yards. Saquon Barkley continues to dominate as a pass catcher and in the run game. 13 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown. He also had 3 catches for 36 yards. Other side of things, Aaron Rodgers, 25 of 39, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Randall Cobb had 7 catches, 99 yards. There is still a real big disconnect between Rodgers and the receivers. That's evident. Packers fall to 3-2. Giants move to 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, Giants 4-1. NFC East, maybe the best division in football. Get rid of the Commanders, and then you have an actual case. And then the Packers, as you said, they don't look right. Aaron Rodgers looks literally doesn't want to be there, as always, but it's another discussion for another day. The run game can't get going. Aaron Jones doesn't look good. I expected him before the year to be an actual receiver, and he's not doing that. AJ Dillon doesn't look that good either. I don't know. The Packers will be in it because Aaron Rodgers and the NFC is soft, and then the Giants probably will make a wild card spot if they don't win the division.
Look at the NFC East, man.
Yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys, Giants.
Eagles
Really?
5-0. Cooper Rush 4-0. Giants, Brian Dable. I'm trying to look up. Brian Dable is definitely the
Oh, he's got.
coach
Oh,
of the
yeah,
year.
he's got to be.
He's
favorite.
definitely going to win coach of the year, I think.
Yeah, as long as.
Yeah,
as long as
they
they stay in
don't die.
contention. Now they have a tough schedule coming up, but
Oh, it's
I think
it's Nick Sirianni plus 150,
I'd give it a Dable over Sirianni
and then,
personally.
and then Dable plus 600.
Dable's roster is nowhere near as good as Sirianni's, and I think Daniel Jones is like I shouldn't say overrated. I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, and what Dable has been able to do has been awesome. The receiving core has been hurt all year. Kenny Golladay is a non-factor. Wendell Robinson's barely played. You know, they've relying on guys like Richie James, and it's just been a mess for the Giants pass catchers. And what they've been able to do offensively, kudos to them. Real NFL team right there. They're legit. Dable's legit, and I'm not surprised because I thought Dable was a big reason. Dable's been around, right? He was an assistant for the Patriots. He was the tight end coach when Gronk was here. He was the offensive coordinator for Alabama, for under those teams, those national championship teams. Of course, offensive coordinator in Buffalo with Josh Allen. Like Dable's been around a lot of different systems. He knows how to coach. Big W for them.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Peter, you want to get into our picks?
Let's do it.
All right, Peter. So you want to start off first?
I'll do it. I'll go to the well. 6-0 Falcons, maybe. Falcons plus 5.5 versus 49ers. I know it's at the 49ers, but the 49ers offense doesn't look inept. Brandon Ayuk doesn't look anywhere to be found. Jimmy Garoppolo obviously isn't Trey Lance, but I think he took a step back. The 49ers defense should get to Marcus Mariota. Maybe it's Desmond Little time, but maybe not yet. But Falcons 5.5. I'm gonna pick them before until they lose.
Look, I know I got a lot of crap for saying the Falcons would win more than 6 games. I know they're 2-3, Peter, but they've been competitive. They're scrappy. They're a team that I think a lot of people were ready to mock and give them the first overall pick. I don't think they're that. Like, I think you can even agree with that. They're not as bad as people anticipated. My first pick, I'm going to go back to the Thursday night well because I am 0-5.
Oh, God.
So, look, it's the Bears-Commanders, which is arguably the worst Thursday night game on the slate.
Can't be worse. It can't be worse than last week.
Right. It has to be better, and it will be better. Bears -1. Games in Chicago. Ron Rivera just threw Carson Wentz under the bus this past week. I don't know if you saw that. Ron Rivera was asked.
Yeah, Alex Smith went off on him.
Yeah, on ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron Rivera was asked by the media what was the difference between the Commanders and everyone else in that division, and he said quarterback. But then he went on to say like development, and Carson Wentz is new to the system. Everyone else has had their guy for a couple of years now. But obviously it was a comment that was probably shouldn't have been said. And Alex Smith of ESPN was like, dude, Carson Wentz is top 5 in yards. Your defense is like 29th in points. Like, worry about your defense, not your quarterback. And but with all that being said, I'm sure the comment did not go over well in the locker room. I like the Bears -1.
I think that's actually going to hit this week.
Yeah, that's what I said last week.
Well, you can predict that. All right, next game, I have the Bengals -2 over the Saints. Our boy Chris Olave, I don't think he's going to play.
He's our guy, though.
Yeah, I know, but if he doesn't play, I mean, he's not going to win Offensive
Sure.
Rookie of the Year. Damian Pierce looks good.
But
Jameis Winston still doesn't look right. I know they beat the Seahawks, but that's the Seahawks. Bengals -2. It's a lock, I think.
Yeah. For me, anyway, I'm going to go with Packers -7.5. That's going to be my premium pick of the week. Packers are hosting the Jets. The Jets are coming off a big win.
Big win.
Big win
Screw
against
that.
the Dolphins. And I think this is a game in which the Packers got to put things together and they win this game by double digits. I think the Packers are going to dominate the Jets. I don't think the Jets, despite the fact of them being 3-2, I don't think they're really a above 500 team. I think they're overrated. And the Jets wins this year have been against Sky Moore. I'm sorry. What's Miami's guy?
This is Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson. Who else did the Jets beat? Oh, it was really bad.
Steelers.
Yep, with Kenny Pickett. Yeah, exactly. Though, and there was somebody else too. I forgot who it was. Yeah, I think the Packers wiped the floor with them. That's my premium pick of the week.
It's a good pick. Jets. Jets are better than the Patriots, so we can't really talk, I guess.
For record wise, yeah. On the field, we'll have to wait and see.
On the field, I don't know. And they beat the Browns on the last second. Like,
With Jacoby Brissett was the other quarterback. Yeah.
all right, fair enough. Aaron Rodgers, fair enough. All
Yeah.
right, next pick. I Chiefs plus 2.5 versus the Bills. Fun fact: whoever was underdogs in this game, I was gonna pick. So I picked the Chiefs. Bills can't win in a close game. Bills offense only can score in the third quarter, I guess. I mean, the Chiefs only can score in the second half, to be fair. It should be a shootout. Actually, I don't even know if it'll be a shootout. All the games are going under.
It's all the under, man. But I like that pick.
I'm surprised this is not Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football is amazing. The
Oh, yeah.
Eagles,
Yep.
Cowboys, but
my next pick, I'm going to go Giants plus 5. They're hosting the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think the Giants are going to win this game. I think they're going to lose by a field goal, but I like them to cover. The Giants play really well at home. The Ravens, who we all thought would blow teams out, that hasn't been the case. The Ravens have been involved in so many close games this year, and I think it's going to be a field goal affair. I like the Giants plus 5.
Watch out. Giants might win that game.
Maybe. I don't roll it out.
All right, next pick. I have Seahawks plus 2.5 versus the Cardinals. Kyle Murray, 2 more weeks, and then you're going to be inept. But that's another story for another day. Seahawks plus 2.5. Geno Smith comeback story. Cardinals defense is terrible. And that's all I got to say. I don't think the Cardinals defense is going to start DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
My next pick, I'm going to go Cowboys plus 4.5 against the Eagles. Again, Sunday Night Football. This is a game highly anticipated. And I think the Eagles have had a couple cracks the last 2 weeks, despite the fact that they've won. They've had close games with the Cardinals. And the game against the Jaguars the week prior was close in the first half. I think the Cowboys, who have had the Eagles number last year, right? So when they played last year, the Cowboys beat the Eagles 51-26, and then the Cowboys beat them 41-21. And I think the Cowboys, whether it's Cooper Rush out there or Dak Prescott, they find a way to get the job done, and they give the Eagles their first loss of the year. I like the Cowboys here, plus 4.5. It's a good spot for them.
Someone's got to give. Eagles, I know, haven't faced anybody, but 5-0 versus Cooper Rush 4-0, or 5-0 coming back to last year. My premium pick of the week: Chargers minus 5 versus the sorry Broncos. If Russell Wilson plays, he's going to play hurt. They'll probably score like 5 points or something. Chargers minus 5. They don't look good. Brandon Staley, I think, is going to get fired at the end of the year. He's not consistent.
Ooh, off his wagon, huh?
No, I don't know. I mean, I know he went for it on the 4th-and-1 play, but he's been way too not safe because Brian he's not safe, but like way too safe.
I think Staley, what he just did last week, might have been the worst fourth down call I've seen him do. It was like 4th and 2, like the 40-yard line. They were up by 2. The Browns didn't have any timeouts, and he went for it. Didn't make any sense to me, but he did. Peter, I'm going to agree with you. I like the Chargers minus 5 here. That's also going to be my survivor pick. It's a good spot for them at home. I think Justin Herbert, who's healthy now, gets the job done. Maybe they'll get Keenan Allen back. I like them here minus 5, and that is my survivor pick, like I said.
Are you still in your survivor league?
It's been the same as
same
as you. So
how many people you got? A lot.
I believe there was 10.
Ooh, just 10,
which is too many. I thought it was going to be a little bit less.
You got a shot.
I don't know. This week. I don't know. It's up to Brandon Staley, and I don't like that. So, all right, Peter, you want to hit on a little bit of baseball?
Baseball.
All right, let's get to it.
Sorry,
baseball. What was
it? Sorry, Nate.
Sorry, Nate. Yeah, tough. We'll get to the National League in a second. We'll start with the American League. We had 2 sweeps: the Guardians over the Rays and 2-0 in that series, and then the Mariners over the Blue Jays 2-0 in that series, which sets up an ALDS of Mariners Astros and Guardians Yankees. So what'd you see in the wild card match and the wild card games, and who do you like in those ALDS matchups?
Well, before, I mean, like the Rays scored 1 run in like 22 innings or something stupid. Rays shouldn't even been in the playoffs. I like the Guardians story, and my Mariners comeback win game 2 versus the Blue Jays. Oh, amazing. But ultimately, Astros, Yankees, and the ALCS, talents all the way around. I mean, they should. I don't know. I mean, the Mariners and Guardians are way too outmatched. And if it's not the Astros, Yankees, I swear to God, it should be pretty bad. I mean, I don't know, but I want the Mariners to make the World Series because I'm a big Mariners fan. Well, in this playoffs, and the Guardians, Yankees. If the Guardians knock off the Yankees, it'll be just funny story with the Bo Sox. But I don't see both those happening like at all.
We'll have to see on that. For me anyway, I picked the Rays and I picked the Blue Jays, so I'm 0-2 in the American League. Not good. That comeback from the Mariners in Game 2 was awesome. Were they down 9-1, ended up
Yep.
winning the game 10-9. Maybe your Mariners are legit. For the ALDS though, I'm gonna go with the Astros over the Mariners. I'm sorry, Peter, and then I'm gonna go the Yankees over the Guardians. But if I'm a Yankee fan, I'm concerned about that bullpen.
Well, Chapman hasn't been anything. Chapman threw a fit. I don't think he's coming back with the Yankees next year. And the Guardians,
What a story!
all they do is pump out pitchers. It doesn't even matter. McKenzie, Bauer, Bieber.
What a story! Yeah,
Garrett.
what a story! And Frank Cohen, I think he's had one losing season in the last 20 years as a manager, which is crazy.
It's supposed to be a rebuilding year too.
Oh my God, yeah. Seriously, people don't give Terry Francona enough credit. They really don't.
He might win. He's probably going to win Coach of the Year. Probably.
He should. He should. He absolutely should.
Oh, actually, Dave Roberts probably will.
But look at Roberts' roster
yeah, I know
compared
they
to.
won like a million.
Yeah, but that's just what I feel. All right, Peter, let's talk about the National League. First off, rip to Big Nate of Big Talk with Big Nate. Tough, Peter, and I knew it. I knew the Mets lost all momentum, and they did. Padres beat them 2-1 in the wild card. So yeah, that was a series in which I knew that's exactly how I thought it would play out. The Mets, offensively, they were inept. The pitching couldn't get it done. Specifically, Scherzer, that was the worst of it all. But no, I felt like to me the Mets kind of lost all the wind in their sails that prior series against the Braves, and that's what happened. So the Padres won that, and then the Phillies beat my Cardinals 2-0 to advance.
Yeah.
So that you want to go? Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, the Cardinals, bad story. 2 MVPs on the team. You're a big Phillies guy, though. And then,
yeah, look, Dombrowski's done a good job over there.
Yeah, he knows how to make championship teams, I guess. But I mean, the Mets, yikes, Scherzer be giving out bombs after bombs after bombs. That's a good contract you got there. Oh, Mets are gonna Mets.
That's bad, man. That's an epic fail and epic proportions.
Took a while. Took a while.
10.5 game lead on June 1st. September, they were they just sloppy offensively. The bats just went away and tough. I blame the players. I understand maybe that the GM was not necessarily.
I don't blame the GM at all.
Yeah, I know he wasn't aggressive.
Maybe
you know how much money that Mets roster was worth, and the players just turtled. Sure, Scherzer, 4 home runs he allowed. Lindor did nothing. Please, that's on the players to me. And we'll see what Steve Cohen has to do this offseason.
Yeah, he's got to figure out his pitching stuff because I think both Bassett and DeGrom's going to go to the Braves.
All right, Peter, if you're Cohen, who would you? Let's say you can pick one: DeGrom or Judge.
DeGrom for sure. DeGrom's the best pitcher we've ever seen. Better
so
than other than Kershaw.
So you'd give him all that money even with the injury concerns?
Yeah, doesn't matter. It's
it's close. I agree with you, but it's real close. I think. Tell you what, DeGrom. I thought he would put some stuff together this year and stay healthy, and he didn't. And he didn't look as sharp. He didn't look sharp at the end.
You could find an outfielder. I don't think you could find a pitcher as good as DeGrom. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. So that sets up a Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Braves, NLDS, which I love both matchups. Both are in division, both plenty of storylines. Dodgers, Padres specifically has been a rivalry we've been talking about for years.
Yeah, it should happen 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
The Padres haven't got there.
So who do you like?
I like the Dodgers, obviously. Boring. But I don't see anybody beating the Dodgers. And just to be fun, I like the Phillies over the Braves. Braves have an amazing pitching staff, and that contract, I forget his name is escaping me, but they literally have the best GM of all in baseball.
But here's the thing with the Braves do, and the Red Sox should do. They go to these young players 2 or 3 years early, and they get a deal done. And it's real below market value once those guys would have been up for free agency. Instead, you got the Red Sox who haven't paid Rafael Devers, or they did the same thing with Mookie Betts. And once they reached the market, the price was astronomical. So that's what the Braves do, and that's what other teams should do. They do it the right way. I agree with you, though. I'm going to take the Dodgers, too. I know, easy pick, chalk, but they're just the best team in baseball, and it's not close. And I'm going to pick the Braves reluctantly. I do think the Phillies are going to give them a series here. The Phillies won game 1. But I just think this Braves team is too good to really I like the Phillies, as you said, but I think they have some flaws, and I don't think they have necessarily the I don't think their pitching is going to end up holding up.
We got a good World Series no matter what, though.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
huge. Yeah, you're right.
You got an
Just
underdog
the
with the
Guardians.
Guardians, and then or the Mariners, and then everybody else should ultimately be there.
Yeah, 100%, Peter. Any other baseball topics?
Extend Xander Bogaerts. I know he's in Aruba, and they're talking to him right after this. But please do it. I know they're not going to, but it's fine.
You see, I think they will, and I think a big reason why is public perception. I think how the season went, and them if they were to lose him, I think it would be a PR nightmare. Now, if they replaced him with Aaron Judge or something like that, then that's different. But I don't think they're just going to let him walk and just. I just can't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think this season was very bad from like an attendance standpoint, ratings standpoint, and John Henry cares about that stuff. So I think Bogarts will be back. All right, Peter, wanted to end the show with 5 questions not about football?
Yeah, we still need a new segment name. That's
Yeah, I
grown.
know.
That's grown on me though.
5 questions not about football? Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't thought of it. I didn't have time to really think about it.
I
this
haven't
week.
either. I haven't thought about it either.
Maybe we'll ask Cara Noah on our NBA preview show.
Fair.
All right. Peter, what's your favorite zoo animal?
Red panda. It's not close. And I'm not even saying that because I'm Asian.
Okay.
See how cute
All
they
right.
are?
I mean, yeah, they are pretty cute. I'll give you that.
Why? What
All
are
right,
you?
Peter. Mine.
Lion.
Yeah, lion, but that's a basic answer. Tiger, basic answer.
Penguin.
I know.
All
No,
right,
not a
never mind. I
penguin.
shouldn't have asked.
Not a penguin. Yeah, I'd say lion or tiger.
Oh, a
I know.
snake. That's the right
No,
answer.
no, that's the wrong answer. All right, Peter. The NHL season starts like this week. Who wins the Stanley Cup?
Probably the Lightning. I'm gonna pick
Everyone-
the Lightning until they prove me wrong.
Okay. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of hockey in a couple weeks. All right, Peter. What is your favorite Marvel movie?
Either Infinity War. Yeah, Infinity War.
Infinity War is mine too. Yep. All right. If you had unlimited money, right? You had anything all the money in the world, but you had to buy one sports team from any sport. What would the sport be, and what would the team be?
I'd probably pick the Cowboys.
That's a good one. That's
Just no matter what, they'll just be relevant.
I'd look at English soccer heavily.
I don't know about soccer.
Yeah, I know. I know
Probably
that
right.
that's something can't go wrong with an NFL. NBA in Vegas would be a good startup too. All right, Peter. Last question. If you could pick any song that would be considered to be your theme song, what would it be and why?
Oh my!
I know, such a loaded question. I'm getting good at these.
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. I'm gonna pick shuffle on my Spotify playlist, and then I'm gonna just say what this
All right,
is,
let it ride.
and then I'm gonna figure out a reason why. Let's see. It's gonna be "Love to Hate Me," Letter to Alcohol, with Wheat Boxes, Post Malone. All right.
I like Post Malone. Okay.
You love alcohol, I guess, but it makes us do bad decisions. You could probably attest to that too. It makes us pay like $100 to a Las Vegas club, even though it was free.
Correct. Yes. 100. Emphatically correct. Yes.
Yeah, that was a good question. That's a good.
That was a good question, right? I think I'm getting good at these questions. I think I'm getting pretty good. We just need a name for the segment. We just need a name, and I think we're good. All right, Peter.
Yeah. Well, check us out on Monday with our NBA preview, and next week Thursday, and yeah, stay hot.